This video takes a comparative look at Alexander Fleming's penicillin breakthrough and Iran's nuclear program. When used for peaceful means, nuclear energy can be harnessed to benefit humanity. For instance, the Koeberg, Cape Town-based nuclear power station generates electricity to benefit humanity. Therefore, when it is down for maintenance, it disrupts so many other essential societal services. It is a nuclear power station evidently benefiting the people of South Africa. On the humorous side, this is what the famous boxing champion Muhammad Ali said about penicillin. If they can make penicillin out of moldy bread, then they can sure make something out of you. What do Iran's nuclear scientists have to do with Alexander Fleming's medical breakthrough in the discovery and development of penicillin? The Iranian nuclear scientists could and should take inspiration from Fleming's persistence, perseverance, and strength of mind to make a scientific breakthrough. Whether it is by chance, fate, or circumstances they could never imagine possible, Iran's nuclear scientific breakthrough to enrich uranium will happen as an extraordinary development. Iran's purpose is to generate alternative sources of energy as a petroleum-producing country. The Iranian nuclear scientists will be mindful of the Quranic principle which teaches, "Man shall achieve nothing but what he strives for." Fleming was born in 1881 in Scotland. Fleming's medical breakthrough in the discovery of penicillin is at times described as serendipitous, a breakthrough by chance, or what some would call luck. Fleming was awarded the Nobel Prize for his medical breakthrough in 1945. But luck had nothing to do with Fleming's medical breakthrough. However, thoughtfully, Fleming's successful breakthrough to discover penicillin has more in common with what Louis Pasteur said: "Chance only favors the mind which is prepared." Or to put it another way, chance favors the prepared mind. Also, Fleming informatively said, "I did not invent penicillin. Nature did that. I only discovered it by accident. I keep saying it was a miracle," he stressed. But Allah, also revered as God, can produce unimaginable outcomes which humankind may never envisage possible. Fleming spent most of his life researching how to combat bacterial infections. His medical research was a lifetime pursuit of ups and downs, researching for the elusive medical breakthrough which eventually emerged. In the domain of medical miracles, few discoveries rival the significance of penicillin in revolutionizing the treatment of bacterial infections, saving countless lives. Fleming's penicillin breakthrough was a team effort. The inputs of others contributed to his successful outcomes. His penicillin breakthrough, followed by the challenges of isolating and producing the antibiotic, saved countless lives, revolutionizing the treatment of bacterial infection. But briefly, Fleming's medical breakthrough story goes like this. In September 1928, upon returning to his laboratory at St. Mary's Hospital after a 2-week vacation, Fleming noticed something unusual on a petri dish that had been uncovered. The dish containing colonies of Staphylococcus bacteria had been contaminated by a mold. The mold was later identified as Penicillium notatum. Fleming observed that the mold had created a clear zone around itself where the bacteria could not grow. Intrigued by this phenomenon, Fleming conducted experiments to understand the mold's antibacterial properties. He found that the mold produced a substance that killed many harmful bacteria, including those responsible for diseases such as pneumonia, meningitis, and diphtheria. Fleming named this substance penicillin after the penicillium mold. His initial observations and experiments demonstrated penicillin's potential as a powerful antibacterial agent, marking the beginning of a new breakthrough, discovery, and innovation in medical science. But linking Iran's nuclear scientists' ongoing applied research for peaceful means to Fleming's penicillin breakthrough is aspirational, because like in the case of Fleming, the breakthrough producing the unintended beneficial outcomes may well happen in ways in which neither Fleming nor the Iranian nuclear scientists could ever imagine possible. The hostility from the United States of America and Europe against Iran becoming a nuclear power producing country characterize a colonized mindset of these world powers. Once the developed countries have acquired the nuclear science and capabilities to weaponize it, they fear that the developing countries will abuse such capabilities when acquired. Simply put, the superpowers like the United States and Europe do not want Iran to be empowered with nuclear science applied capabilities. Iran's nuclear physicists, as professionals, have become targets of assassination. This brutal violence against them demonstrates the extent of Iran's nuclear program. But when Iran makes a breakthrough and its nuclear scientists have their Fleming scientific discovery momentum, this will benefit greatly all developing countries. Oil-producing countries will be its biggest beneficiaries because they are totally economically dependent on fossil fuels like petroleum, which have a finite lifespan and is unsustainable. The Iranian government is uncomfortably aware that it is not only the United States and Europe who are hostile against them becoming a nuclear-producing power, but also some Middle Eastern countries. But this is where Iran needs to be politically decisive and astute. Its leadership should adopt a regional vision to ensure that its nuclear capacity becomes a source of strength for its neighbors rather than a weaponized threat. Strategically, under Iran's new leadership headed by President Masoud Pezeshkian, its foreign policy priority is to build strong regional partnerships and brotherly relations between Arab countries and Iran. Decisively, the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, is a visionary and strategic leader. He understands the importance of regional unity between Iran and Arab countries. Iran must succeed convincing its Arab neighbors that its future as a successful and prosperous region depends on them developing their nuclear science applied capabilities, but also its broader science and technology for peaceful means. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian also realized that he must go the extra mile to build strong bilateral relations between the Iranian leadership and Saudi Arabia's rulers, notably with Mohammed bin Salman al Saud. It could well be that Mohammed bin Salman al Saud emerges as the dynamic, visionary, and unifying leader to facilitate the development of a strong regional power comprising of the Arab world and Iran. Failure is not an option to strengthen their regional unity, solidarity, and cooperation for Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian, Qatar's Amir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, and Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. If they fail to unite Iran and Arab countries as a region, with a common synergistic political, economic, and civilizational future, the alternative will only further strengthen the existing divide and rule policies of the United States and some European countries. The divide and rule strategy to create conflict between Arabs and Persians will further destabilize the region. But let's get back to the main story of Iran having its Fleming scientific breakthrough and outcome to deliver on its nuclear applied science program. When Iran's indigenous nuclear science capabilities come to fruition, the developing countries will narrow their scientific, technological, and economic gap between themselves, Europe, and America. When that happens, whether you define or describe Iran's nuclear scientific breakthrough as serendipity, fortuitous, chance, accident, or whatever else, Iranians and others of all persuasions will praise Allah for its successful development, result, and outcome.
Yeah.